Welcome back to Adventure 82. So we're out and about again. I did make it out my garden. Right, so we're going to be in this location twice. Once for what's behind me, which you'll find out about in the next video. But this one is, if you're connected to a video I did previously, if you remember I did a video on the Richmond drummer boy. It's not one of my most watched videos, but I did do one. Now, along this path here, we're going to go and have a look at two things. One, the little plaque that's been put in place for the Richmond drummer boy, and two, which is the main thing for this video, we're going to go have a look at Easby Abbey, because seems to be a thing now for us in Yorkshire. Now we're here, just going around filming abbeys. So yeah, we're also going to have a look at some of the old track bed that used to lead along here. So because there used to be a railway from Richmond, which is where we are today. So we're going to walk down this path on the way there, and on the way back we're going to take the other path, which would have been the old track bed. So let's go and have a look. Right, so as we make our way down towards Easby Abbey, I thought I'd just show you the walk there, or some of it anyway. It's all very kind of scenic, all very kind of countrified, and if I'm honest, we're back next to what seems to be our friend these days, actually, the River Yore. More often than not, we're next to the River Yore now. At this rate, we'll just be able to piece together my videos and follow the River Yore. So, plan is, we walk down here. Actually, we've not been to Easby Abbey before, this is my first time, so we're actually also figuring out our way there at the same time. It's very quiet, very peaceful here, I have to say. Down here in Richmond today. It's very nice to have the sunlight out again. It's still a bit, well, if Erica was here, if Erica was here, she is here, she's just behind me. But Erica would say it's cold, I'd say it's just chilly at the moment, to be honest. So, Easby Abbey is another one that's been abandoned. Another one to do with the whole Henry VIII dissolution of the monasteries palaver. Same kind of scenario that befell Whitby Abbey. Same thing that befell Fountains Abbey. So I'm going to go have a look at this one. But it's nice scenic stuff to look at on the way here. On the way down, there's also a very, very interesting bridge. So have a look at that as well. But we'll catch up in a minute. So we found the track bed. As you can see, that's the track bed. That's the direction we're going today. The direction we'll be going next time is that way. And that's where what we're looking at in the next video is. Up that way, but for now we're following the track bed in the other direction. And you can tell it's a track bed because it's so wide. Right, and in case you're wondering why there's a difference in sound, my darling daughter has used my microphone and not charged it. So we're off in this direction. Go and find our abbey. So this abbey was built in 1156. With the dissolution of the monasteries, it was abandoned in 1526, thereabouts, and quickly fell into disrepair. During the 18th and 19th century, Easby Abbey was actually a favourite among romantic artists for paintings and drawings alike. So I'm expecting this to be really quite cool. It's also apparently, according to the website for Easby Abbey, which is on the English Heritage website, I believe, if I remember correctly, Easby Abbey is also the best kept version of this type of abbey, best preserved in the country. So this should be really quite cool. Also, there's, like I say, a lovely little bridge. We've got the road just up here. I'd imagine, or I can imagine, kids kind of on there, maybe back where I came from when you come into where the railway line starts, watching steam trains going back and forth up in here. It would have been, I'm sure, a stunning sight back in the day, but alas, no more. So this section of track bed, obviously, like I say, leads us to Easby Abbey. It's also leads us to some other things we're going to be looking at later on. So we're kind of doing a middle section, if you like, at the moment. So where we turn off to go off to the Abbey, we'll pick up that in a separate video as well, because that leads us off to something else we're going to be filming this year. So I told you there was railway stuff coming, and now you know I wasn't lying. But for the time being, let's get a little bit further up here. I'll put the mountain microphone on top I normally use. I'll get a good all-round sound. Anyway, this is kind of... Right, so I know the sound wasn't brilliant in the last clip. I've changed the microphone around to see if that makes any difference. This medium was an absolute menace when you don't have the right bit. So we can't put the microphone on top I normally use. It's really hard to get a good all-round sound. Anyway, this is kind of, I think you would agree, quite reminiscent of when we were following the Jersey railways. You've got the little brakes like this with the poles. So you can see here it's very rural. Still got the old style phone lines up there. There's an abandoned building here, which I'm guessing is part of private property, so we can't actually look at it properly, but that's pretty cool. There's some other interesting bits I'm finding as to go along, so that's pretty cool. Also, not being local, I may have been corrected by someone. So, as you're aware, I mentioned before that we were back with our friend the River Yore. Turns out that it's in fact the River Swale. So at some point, and I don't actually understand where the point is, but at some point the River Yore becomes the River Swale. I'm not sure when that is, but that does actually happen. So obviously we've crossed that point. But you can see here, I've just noticed as well, there's quite an interesting section of pipe here crossing over. So I don't know, I don't think that's still the river, I'm not sure. Must be, because look, there's the riverbed just over there. Look at that. It is unbelievably peaceful and quiet here. Where it disappears there underneath into the culvert looks, pardon me, looks really quite cool. That's really, really awesome. Interestingly, this is more recent stonework. This isn't older stonework. So I wonder if at some point the bridge is being replaced, that one. There is another one as you work our way towards the Abbey. So this path has 3 different routes. Each one Slightly longer than the next. You have a short, medium and long path. Only one of these paths, as far as I'm aware, takes you to Easby Abbey. So I have to make sure I choose the right path, or we're going to end up going to the wrong place, or just miss it entirely. And then I'm going to look like an absolute flump. But we shall find Easby Abbey, I promise. Also, check out the really cool floofy dog out front. Right, so we found our bridge I mentioned to you. We've rejoined the River Swale. See, I remembered. Flows quite quick today, actually. It's one of the quicker flows I've seen since I've been here. Flowing reasonably fast at that side, and then trickling through on this side. So this is an old railway bridge, which is why it's interesting. Now, from the top here, it's not overly that impressive, but wait till I show you what it looks like from below. Right, so here's our bridge. There's a little cubby hole here. Don't know if there used to be a little building or something, maybe at the side of the bridge, but that's the old railway bridge. Iron from the looks of it, but I tell you what, it's holding up well. Might actually even be steel. It's proper thick though. Stone buttresses have been there for many years. This was originally built by the NER as part of the Darlington branch from Darlington north to Richmond, which is what the part of the track bed we've been following is fought up to Easby Abbey. But look at it. It's a piece of metal actually over there that's fallen off the bridge. Just there, see, look on the floor. There you go, see, look at that. And there's little indentations cut in the stone, these little arrow indentations. What kind of arrow shaped? There's one there. And if I walk along here, this is quite hard, soft kind of gravel stuff to walk on. There's another one there. Look at that. And you can see all the little holes here made by, I'm guessing, stonemasons. And you've got the same kind of holes here. I'm not convinced, if I'm honest, that this is the original bridge that was on top, but it's still a stunning structure. And the stonework, which is always magnificent. Also, as I'm down here, sand. This is the first time I've walked on sand since I left Jersey. Someone's been doing, I don't know, abseiling maybe? God knows why the ropes are hanging from it. It looks like somebody's actually made a swing is what they're doing, and then swing and then a splosh into the water. So that's probably the summer the best way to cool off. But that's so awesome. Anyway, that's our railway section of the Easby Abbey done. I guess now there's nothing left to do but go to the Abbey itself. So that way. Right, so as you can see, we've most definitely found Easby Abbey. Stunning place. So originally built 1156, was suppressed in 1936-37 by Henry VIII, and was then let out to the Scope family. Richmond or the town of Richmond, weren't happy about losing their abbey. So as a result, they actually set about setting up a group to resist the crown and overthrow them, get the abbey back. But they waited too long, missed their chance, and as a result, the Scope family got given the abbey back. For back then, what was £300 a week. But it was soon just disused and then stripped of its lead roof and just kind of left to disrepair. The fact it's managed to last so long, I suppose it's really, if anything, is a testament to just the build quality and the effort that went into building these structures at the time. Look at it. Absolutely stunning. We've even got a pigeon visiting. So this would have been the main part of the monastery. There would have been an altar in here. And you would have had, you can see here where you would have had your columns vertically stood up there holding up the roof. And you can see just how much it's been stripped. All wood, lead, anything that was worth money back then was removed, sold on, and then it was just left to rot. But it's quite an extensive ruin, as you can see, and it's definitely worth the walk up here. Well, that's a sound I've seen before. Danger, keep children under control. I mean, fair enough, but you can see here too, look, there's a fenced off door. I'm guessing that would have been, oh, I think you can get to that from the downstairs. Another pillar post. This is an absolutely stunning piece of architecture. Look at it. So this isn't the whole thing. So the abbey was part of an estate which is still very much lived in. It's just this bit was abandoned. So the church that went along with this abbey, that's still a functional church. The house, the estate house and things that went along with the church, the abbey, that's still lived into this day. It's just the abbey that's been abandoned. But it's a stunning building. Just have a quick look over here. Right, so this is the other side of the site. We've actually still got some wooden beams in there. And yeah, this is just quite extensive, to be honest. Really quite pleased I've managed to make it up here. Look at it. This is an amazing find. The person who's found this, the fact that they've actually given this to English Heritage is amazing. Guessing that maybe would have been a well or something. You've got the remains of some other buildings here. That's so cool. Look at that view from this. That is just amazing. Right, so that's us from Easby Abbey. It's a stunning place to be. We've actually had quite a good video, haven't we? We've had history, we've had railways, we've had scenery, we've had rivers, and some stunning architecture in all of it. So, if you want peace and quiet, you want history, you want time to think, there's so many reasons to come and see Easby Abbey. So I would urge you to come and have a look. The walk is stunning, especially on a nice day like this. The river and stuff, the sound of the water and stuff is just awesome. And I got to see some sun for the first time since Jersey. That's got to be a plus. Either way, I'm going to leave you guys now for another week. I'm sure you're not that bothered, but if you are sad, you can always let me know. But otherwise, I'll see you next week with another video where we'll be going the opposite direction on the railway bed, and we'll be doing some more railway related stuff. So until then, you guys take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon. Don't forget to subscribe and things if you enjoyed it. Pardon me. Oh dear me. Don't know where that came from. You can tell I need a drink. Right, so I'm going to go that way. I'm going to take my burps with me. I'll see you soon. Bye.